Looks like we are live. So, hello everyone. So, tonight on the Black Independent, hunger has become a political weapon, but communities and the courts are fighting back. But first, hit share and tag someone now because what we're talking about tonight touches home for too many of us. The federal government is in the middle of what will likely become the longest shutdown in American history. And the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP benefits, the cutoff kicked in yesterday. So we're talking real people, real hunger, and real politics. We will also talk about the 2025 Christmas reframing movement Mona and I talked about a few weeks ago, and the November 25th through December 2nd planned boycott. I don't know if you heard about it, but lots of folks are talking about different ways of boycotting this Christmas. So stay with us, and I'm going to cue the countdown and give people time to join us because we've got a great show tonight. Countdown. Let's go.
To the Black Independent, where we speak truth to power, unapologetically.
For too long, the black vote has been treated like a given, but we're not property. We're not pawns. We are the descendants of those who built this nation. And now, we're demanding tangibles, not tokenism, because the era of blind loyalty is over. This is the Black Independent. Let's get to work.
Hey, everybody. I'm Jeanette.
And I'm Mona. Welcome back to the Black Independent.
Yes, everybody, welcome back. And what I'm going to do, Mona, is cue up our first video, and it's going to frame and sort of summarize where we are right now with the shutdown, which I also think is a showdown. So let me cue that in now. Do you want to bring that up? And we can go ahead and share that with everybody right now.
1 month this morning, leaving nearly 42 million Americans who rely on food benefits without enough to eat.
We can't live in a country that's this wealthy and have people starving. It's just not okay at all.
The federal food assistance program, known as SNAP, runs out today, but the Trump administration may be forced to shift federal dollars around to pay for it. After a last-minute ruling from 2 federal judges who said the White House is required by law to use emergency funds. The president late Friday saying it would be his honor to provide the funding, instructing lawyers to clarify how we can legally fund SNAP as soon as possible. The administration had been claiming it legally could not use the contingency funds to pay SNAP benefits during the shutdown, even though they found a way to pay the troops.
I think that liberal judges weren't correct on this ruling. I think that our legal analysis is that we have to use the emergency money for emergencies.
The Trump administration has until Monday to respond to the court. Also today, the first day of open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act. Many Americans will see their rates for 2026 double or even triple because the ACA tax credits expire at the end of this year.
Americans have never seen a health care like this, the one that's about to begin Saturday. And Donald Trump is nowhere to be found.
What do you make of Democrats essentially keeping the government shut down for the Affordable Care Act, for healthcare policies?
I'm kind of on the fence. People are being affected daily because of the shutdown. However, if they don't stand now, they won't ever be able to stand up against this presidency.
Most Democrats are holding out their votes until Republicans negotiate a compromise, as millions of federal workers go without pay.
It's getting to the point to where we might actually have to go to the food bank.
Now, rather than concede to Democrats, President Trump is calling on his own party to change the longstanding 60-vote rule in the Senate required to pass most bills. So far, Republicans are pushing back. Peter?
Yep, Senator John Thune, the Republican leader, making that very clear. Julie Sirkin there in Florida. Julie, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget.
Wow. Moni, can you bring that down?
Yes.
So, guys, tonight we're going to dive into a story that's both political and deeply personal. So let me try to frame the issue a little bit more. If you remember, on October 1, 2025, the federal government shut down at 12:01 a.m. because Congress failed to pass the appropriations bill. So what's the appropriations bill? That's the annual legislation Congress must approve to authorize and allocate federal spending across all agencies, programs, and services like defense, education, and of course, SNAP. This is now almost the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, within a few days surpassing the 35-day shutdown in 2018-2019 under Trump's first term.
Wow. And you know, as it drags on, the real impact isn't really in Washington. It's right here at home. It's all over the United States. Over 225,000 residents here in Tampa rely on SNAP benefits every single month. I had no idea until I started doing the research. That doesn't even include the 1,000 more who don't qualify for SNAP, but still depend on the local food banks and pantries to get by.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we also have to compound that with the federal workers who are being laid off, are going to work with no pay, either they've been furloughed, just working without pay, and we're going to see a national ripple effect that hits every dinner table. This isn't just numbers. This is families trying to figure out what's for dinner tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
When he says in the interview there, he just said that he'll be more than willing to supply the funds for SNAP, but he knows what he's doing. He doesn't care about the people. He is not for the people.
I think you're right. He does know what he's doing. And if people don't see that he does not care about them, I don't know what else he would need to do to convey that message clearly. So the White House, right now, they have yet to announce a clear plan as to how they are going to pay those SNAP benefits. Even if funds are released, it may take a week or more for states to distribute the benefits. Mm-hmm. That means millions of households could still face food insecurity through next week.
Yeah. It reminds me of something that just came to me. You know how a father in the house who's a dictator, who likes to exercise his power,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
start stuff, get the kids and the wife all upset.
Yeah.
And then come in and bring, treats nobody can enjoy it because you had to, I don't know, the man is sick.
Yeah, I agree with your analogy. I think it is like an abusive relationship.
Yes.
With this father figure that is
Yeah.
And I got to wonder how his family relationships, he's been married, what, 3 times?
Yeah.
I don't know how the children survived in any of those 3 marriages, but
And when I look back, and I don't want to get off topics tonight because we want to stay in. That'll be another thing. But the SNAP contingent fund was created by Congress to serve as a safety net for the safety net, right? In
Mhm.
other words, a backup system for when Washington fails. So he already knew that. He wanted to stop that. So this is what it is by design to make sure that families can still buy food with the regular budget process stalled, or even when crisis like this, the shutdown, it has happened to him before under his first election, so he knows what is happening here. But some kind of way, men's like him and like to feel like the savior, maybe.
I think so.
I find people like him very sick, and I find people who like that much control mostly on the right and Republicans.
Mhm.
Well, on the right and white. I don't know of, and I'm sure it probably some is, but I've heard of relationships what they're trying to do because they know they're going to have to come in and put refund SNAP. They know they're going to have to do it.
They are going to have to do it, but it's for Trump, it's like taking the SNAP food and using it as a weapon right now.
Sure.
And it reminds me of the way Netanyahu also used food deprivation as a weapon to get the war ended or Hamas to surrender or what have you. But he chose to deprive the Gazans of food in order to make that happen. And it sounds like, it really, really feels like we've got that situation here in the United States. Now, who would have ever thought
Right.
that the president of the United States would turn on the people, right? And use something as basic as food to try to get the Democrats in this case to buckle. And we just really need to understand that. But, for clarification, the SNAP contingency fund was created by Congress to make sure that families could still buy food if the normal budget process stalled or if there was a crisis like this one. And this one is completely man-made. Think of it, you can think of it as an emergency pantry for the entire country. It gives the U.S. Department of Agriculture temporary authority to keep SNAP benefits going during shutdowns or recessions or natural disasters, times when people or families need help the most.
Sure. Yeah. 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 Um, Look, it's by design. It's there to protect the children, seniors, and working families from becoming political hostage. And that is what he's doing. And you already referred to Israel when I was thinking about it. I kept not wanting to go there, but my mind kept taking me there. And that's what it felt like. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, would they really do starve the people? When leaders remove or restrict access to that type of funding, they're weaponizing hunger,
Yeah.
turning food insecurity into leverage. And, I'm like, really, really, to
But
be the most powerful country in the world, and we're dealing with this. People should even, and they already know that they're not going to let the people go hungry, but even to put the fear into the people.
well, Trump is counting on, because he kind of believes Democrats are these bleeding souls that have a heart for the people. And while maybe the Republicans don't, or, that's what he's banking on, um, definitely the Democrats will buckle because they don't want little babies to go hungry. Well, of course we don't. But at the same time, I've heard many other independents and Democrats pretty much say to the Democrats, hold the line, don't buckle, because he is using this as a weapon. But what I love is that we have the courts, and the courts have stepped in to say, it's unconstitutional, you've got to pay. So I think it's exactly to a large share of SNAP recipients. The funny thing about it is, and it's not funny, but it's a fact. And I think it's one that people don't really understand, but they're white. They're white Americans living in red states. So I saw a couple of stats that pretty much said 37 to 42% by some estimates. The very people who voted for the party currently in full control, the House, the Senate, the White House, the Supreme Court, they're the ones that are going to suffer the most. I think they thought that it was going to be Black people that suffer, but they forgot that they themselves were also getting SNAP. You know, I heard somebody say today that on maybe it was on TikTok, they said white folks on welfare, I'm just going to call it welfare, thought that they were getting SNAP benefits, and Black people were getting food stamps, and they didn't see them as the same, and that they would cut off the food stamps for them, and they would be okay with SNAP or something like that. So it's an awakening for, I think, the country, who thinks that the face of poverty is Black, because they usually use statistical numbers. Of course, 44 million Black people. If you have 8.5 million that are that have welfare, then of course that percentage is going to be bigger. It's going to be pretty big. But with 160 million white folks, 17 million of those people, that's going to be a very small percentage. So they're reporting poverty in percentages, which makes the Blacks feel like we must be the face of poverty. And politicians knew this. They knew that we would not understand that. But actually, what it comes to in raw numbers is 8.5 million African Americans, and a whopping 17 million are white that are under the poverty line. So I don't know.
And look here, like, they know that. Even the people who receive, like you said, you just gave that analogy about whites think they get SNAP and the other people get welfare. They love to live a lie because they know what they're getting. They know they're not paying for their goddamn food.
They love to live a lie.
They love to live a lie. They rather live a lie than to live the truth and try to help themselves, as they think they're hurting us.
Yeah,
we're gonna survive. We know how to do that. But look, this is what's going on in Congress. Republicans have refused to reopen the government unless the Democrats agree to a deep cut in health care. Now, somebody's going to get hurt. It is always going to be something that's going to be interesting to see how they're going to handle the health care, because no one will be able to afford. And it's even like the affordable health care. They kept saying we had this big issue, and we probably wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for these redneck Republican states who didn't want to accept the fight that Obamacare. It was Obamacare. Then they changed it. All we know is everybody who use it, and I actually use it myself, right? And I'm like, yeah, I don't. We don't know what we're going to do. Particularly, they're estimating that it is going to almost triple.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to look at, Medicaid and Medicare, passing that cost down to working families. And, like I said, it's going to, these premiums will triple.
Yeah.
But, the Democrats are holding firm for once.
They have to. I mean, it makes no sense for us to get into the new year and have triple the premiums.
Yes.
And who's going to get blamed for that, right?
Right.
So Democrats need to hold firm, and I'm
And
hoping that
we'll all be going to food banks and food pantries, okay? If we if the healthcare, and particularly for those who absolutely have to get it, I mean, it would be sacrifices across the board here.
Yeah. So just to make it plain, Democrats are saying we're not reopening the government under the threats. They want it reopened first, then they'll talk about the budgets.
Sure, they will like, the Republicans to instead maybe negotiate in good faith.
Hmm.
The administration is choosing to use hunger as a pressure for them.
Right.
And but we must remember who holds all of the power, the purse string, the committees, and the control of the federal budget. That
Yeah.
power sits solely with Congress on the right and the White House. They could end this crisis tonight if they wanted to.
They are the ones in control. That is
Mhm.
true.
But
They
they're choosing not to.
They're choosing not to.
They're
And
choosing
that's what people need to understand. They're focused on blaming the Democrats. To the viewers out there, it
Mhm.
is not the Democrats. In fact, the Democrats are doing you a favor with regard to the cuts that are planned for Medicaid, and for the increase in premiums you will experience if they do not hold the line. So support the Democrats and what they are doing right now. Um, so in short, they're standing firm. So I'm really glad
Yeah.
about that. Um, we got to stop using people as leverage, especially children. And that's what the Trump administration is now doing, actually using poor people, working poor as leverage to get the Democrats to move.
Sure. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the fallout is everywhere. We look at federal workers being furloughed or working without pay. I can't even imagine that because most people, um, particularly at a certain age, our younger people just starting off 30, they can't wait till Friday or whenever payday is. Imagine going to work with no incentive that you got to work.
Yeah, it's paycheck to paycheck.
And you're not going to get paid. So
And you're
family
not So it's paycheck to paycheck, and you're not going to get paid. It is for those who are on SNAP, it's from 1 month to the next. I'm sure the SNAP dollars don't extend all the way to the end of the month. So by the last week of the month, you are so waiting for that check. And as of yesterday, that check is not in the mail. And I'm saying check because I believe it's loaded up on EBT cards, but that check is not in the mail. And that's where I think it brings us to where we are tonight, our guest. God, guys, in Tampa, in Progress Village, the nonprofit Grow My Giving. And if you haven't heard about Grow My Giving, then you are asleep because Twanda Bradley is, she talks about this. She's on Facebook and I imagine other social media channels as well. But I see her all the time. And I feel so bad that I have not gone out to that news site. But they're stepping up in a big way to help families, not just during the shutdown, but during the shutdown. It is the perfect timing that your doors are now open. So, Twanda Bradley is with us to share what's happening on the ground and how we can all support. Hey, Twanda.
Hello. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Mona and Jeanette, for the invite to speak on current things that are impacting us right now. And food is I don't have words for what our government is doing right now. Really, that man is doing right now. The power that he holds and the people that follows it.
It's the power is It's amazing. I've never seen one man in this country wield so much power in such a negative way.
In a negative way.
It's so negative.
Can't even pretend to be a Christian. At least the other ones could at least pretend to be a Christian. But Tawanda, for those who may not know, can you tell us about Growing My Giving and what you do in Progress Village, who you serve, and how the organization has grown as needs have expanded?
Wow. Okay, that's easy. That's easy because Grow My Giving. Grow My Giving was born, or as we call it, resurrected, or birthed, or what have you, in 2020 under the pandemic. Believe it or not. Myself and my current president, Cheryl Calloway, both of us retired and needed something to do. And I went to her and said, can we do something for the homeless? So it started with the homeless, believe it or not. Started with the homeless, and she and I put together what we call matter bags, place different toiletries and things like that the homeless could use. Did that on Facebook, and within a couple of weeks, we had 2 nonprofits that said, can we partner with you all, with your nonprofit? We said, well, we're not a nonprofit. We're just doing something, helping people because we feel helpless. Well, time moved, because at that time, we were still able to go in and out. We weren't locked down yet. We were not locked down yet. Shortly after that, we became locked down. But what happened in the midst of all of it, one of those organizations invited us to travel with her to Dade City every week to pick up food. We would pick up food and go to low-income apartments and deliver those food, open up the back of the truck, people come and get the food. And that was it. Within about 2 or 3 weeks of doing that, she says, what would you do if I say I got extra food? I said, I'll take it. I said, I'll take it, and I'll take it to Progress Village. It was just an instant thing to do. And it grew from there. Right in the midst of Progress Village. As a matter of fact, where the boutique, because that's what my nonprofit food pantry is called. It's called Boutique. It's called Boutique.
It's so you to call it food.
It's very, very unique, and only Tawanda could come up with that.
I tell you, boutique. I would imagine.
Boutique, and then when I get to that story, it's going to make some sense to you all. But we went there, and the same spot that we started the pantry, which started as a mobile pantry, it's in the same spot. It's in the same plaza, and I just only realized that a couple of weeks ago. It's like, wait a minute, this is where we actually started 5 years ago. And so it's made a complete circle. We started off with doing a mobile unit, Progress Village, Palm River, then Clamel. Each time that we went to each location, it increased. Progress Village, we started off with feeding 53 families. When we went to Palm River, we went to 107 families. And then when we went to Clamel, it kept growing and growing and growing. The max that we served for about a little over a month was 280 families, and that was done every week. Every week. That tells you how, and Mona, you asked earlier, how the need grew. Because we were still in the pandemic, even as we graduated out of the pandemic, it was still a food need. Food desert has not gone. It's just increased. If I had a word bigger than the word desert, it's just a pit to me. It's a food pit. That's where it's falling in. And then with the shutdown of the SNAP program, we just took a deep dive. We took a deep dive. Now today, 5 years later, we grew from the mobile pantry to healthier foods, which is kind of like, as we talk about SNAP. SNAP talks about nutrition. So we went to a nutritional part of our program, and we introduced that to senior citizens. And we grew from senior citizens in 2023 to 2024, taking that same concept and giving it to the families, stretching out. We were able to get some funding because we saw that not only the senior citizens needed help, there were still families needed help as well. And so we were giving out bi-weekly at that point. Needed to do weekly, but the funding only allowed us to do bi-weekly. And so here we are, 2025, and just opened the boutique. The boutique is still the same. It's taken a collection or it's absorbed everything that we've done from 2020 to 2024. from giving out food, which we still do. We still do box food, canned goods where we need to. We still serve the houseless, not the homeless, but the houseless. Um, and now we do it on a more nutritional level. We added the produce because we learned produce not only healthy, but it stretches a meal and sometimes makes a meal. So at the boutique, when they come in, our goal, the reason why we call it a boutique, because we want that experience, because we call it, they come in for a shopping experience. It's
Nice.
just going to a boutique of clothing. You got special things. You feel good when you go into a boutique. It's one of a kind. You have the one-on-one service. You feel good. And so
And it looks beautiful. I love the motif is very nice.
And that was huge. Planning that and making sure when they walk in, even with the soft lighting, the lights go up, but we keep it at the soft feel. We give them a nice natural. We use lavender or some type of relaxing fragrance that goes. We have nice music that goes on. Usually some type of relaxing music. Sometimes we do a little jazz, but that is so when they walk in, they feel good.
Nice.
Because I can imagine a lot of people, but really not from their own just life happening, not making enough, probably don't feel good all the time coming to the pantry.
And you're right. You're right.
I'm
They
sure
feel less than.
you're making them feel welcome, community wise. So yeah, I like that. And Jeanette, I haven't been out either. I know when the grand opening was. I think I was out of town, but I definitely got to get over there because I'm sure.
Well, ladies, when you are ready, let me know. I'll give you a personal tour.
Absolutely, we'll give you a call. We'll come by.
Okay,
definitely will. So, with the shutdown now officially the longest in history, are you hearing about how the shutdown is affecting the families that you serve?
Not quite yet, other than them preparing. Been getting a lot of calls. We already were impacted before the shutdown, okay? Greatly. Like you said, all different type of people from different types of walk of life have been coming. What we have been noticing is a lot of calls and inquiries about how can you help us going to the shutdown. And so Doris said that just happened Saturday, right? So we have not, I've not taken any calls this weekend, but they're already getting prepared. I did notice in the last distribution, or should I say shopping experience, repeat people getting ready to begin to say, I need this for the future. I need this. I don't know what's getting ready to happen to us. So we're hearing the concern. We haven't felt the impact totally. And I'm quite sure we're going to start feeling that on tomorrow.
So to ask you this, because maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago I called you. As soon as I heard it, I said, "How can we help our community? How?" And the only person I knew that had a pantry, the first person I thought of course, was you. Have the city or the county? Where do you get the food from? I want a place located, since you already have the location there, that people would, I don't want added stress, okay? I want to make sure that your pantry is fully stocked. So what is the county doing?
Unfortunately, Grow My Giving did not receive funds for 2025-2026 nonprofits. As you know, the commissioners, they have that option to who they will support. And we did get support in 2024, as I mentioned earlier. That's how we were able to do the produce for the families. And then the contribution that they gave us for this year, 24-25, it allowed us to add on to that beautification, if I can use that word, of the boutique, and do a small bit of food. Unfortunately, I was not granted. And boy, would have been the best time. You know, my board talk about it now. If we had been granted, we would be able to just open up the pantry more right now.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
it wasn't. I didn't even know that you didn't get granted or that you get grants. But because we're in an emergency, and the county know that you're there, no one have reached out to you to say here's some funds to make sure you're stocked, to make sure that whoever you serve, you don't need it.
Nobody.
You gotta be kidding me. Okay.
Nobody.
So how are you? How are you
We have
stocking?
emergency funds for all of this, so all of these places should be
Looking for.
Where do you get your food from?
Well, so primarily when we open up, you mean for right now, for the boutique itself, correct?
Yeah.
Because it changed throughout the years. For the boutique, what happened was one of our community partners, which is Mosaic. Mosaic also partners with the Lightning. So between Mosaic with their employees doing food drive, giving us some food, along with their community partner Lightning, when they did Goals for Food, that was a set of food that we had and we stored. And then when that process went through the house of it, when I say house, the food was collected at the games. Metropolitan Ministries housed the food until they transferred it to us. When Metropolitan, because Metropolitan Ministries is also a community partner of ours as well. And we are called what they say a traditional partner. And so we do get food from them November and December for the holidays. So let me roll back. So when they collected the food from the Lightning, they housed the food. And when they delivered it to us, they gave us more food. So I would say because of Mosaic, their connection to Lightning, and their connections to Metropolitan Ministries, that's how we started. The county, as I said, they gave us some funding, right? But they earmarked a percentage. And my goal, what my request from my board was, we wanted the full amount to go to food. That's all we wanted. We didn't care what the building looked like. We had our own funds to have the building renovated, but we wanted that food for the people.
Sure.
I would say, let me see real quick. It's less than 10% of what they gave us that they allowed us to use for food.
You gotta be kidding me.
What about your staffing? Is it volunteer intensive?
Oh, totally. Okay. I do get a small stipend from the amount of monies was given by the county. So I have a small stipend because I do a lot of work of going to get the food, locking down the food, and those type of things. So that was great. They were gracious enough to give me a small stipend. So that was wonderful. Then there were some other things.
I don't like the word. Who's giving you a small stipend?
The county.
I don't like the word gracious. No, because I got their money. It's the people's money.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because I don't know, I didn't. So across from where I work, it's a church sits on the corner of 40th and Osborne. They have a food bank there every Friday. Who provides that food for them? Because what I did notice this Friday, that when I got to work, that line was already around the corner, down the streets. And they had enough food, so they give out like a box with certain things. I don't know if it's enough for a month. I don't know how it works.
Well,
but the fact that where do they get the food from? You're not supposed to be buying the food or getting food from the Lightning.
So along with that question that she's demanding you answer, because she wants to know where's this food coming from, what's your affiliation with Feeding Tampa Bay?
Well, so I'll answer both of them at the same time. You're sitting there like this. Okay, what is going on here? So Grow My Giving does not have a partnership with Feeding Tampa Bay. Yes, we have submitted our application. Yes, we paid Feeding Tampa Bay out of the funds that we received from the county in 2024/2025. Did I say that right? I said it backwards. 2023/2024, because it goes from October. Okay. And so when we did the farmers market, the fresh produce for the families, that monies came from the county. And they presented to us a program. When I say a program, Feeding Tampa Bay was just getting ready to roll out their farmers market truck. And so we partnered with them at that time. And I'm going to say lightly on partnership, because if you're paying, I don't know if that's a partnership. So we paid for those funds, right, for that food to be delivered for 9 months, every other week.
Got it.
So we did have a relationship. When 2024/2025, the one that just ended, for us, it was October 31st. Everyone else was September the 30th. That particular program, as soon before it ended, I did submit an application. At that time, I was told that they were receiving, and that was pretty much it. I can also say that when we were in that 2024/2020, I said again, 23-24, last funding we got from them, I asked them, if we're paying for the food and our station is in Progress Village, because we were not moving, we weren't mobile anymore. Mm-hmm. If you can provide the same alike out of your funds in Clamel, the spot that we had left, I will make sure we have volunteers there to run it just like we run in Progress Village. Mm-hmm. Because there's still a strong need down there. Sure. As well as at that time, they were getting ready to preparing for their grand opening. And I thought that would be a grand idea for the people that surround them very close, but not close enough to the new warehouse. Mm-hmm. We could disseminate the information so they'll know where to go, because they are giving more than just food. That didn't happen. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So here we are now, 2025. We still don't have a relationship. I was told just a week ago that unfortunately they're not even they're not even looking at the list anymore. Granted, I understand they were impacted when Doge came through. We were impacted because we had a free nutritionist to come to us from them. Okay, from Feeding Tampa Bay. So I guess I should say we did have a connection, but not with the receiving food. And so unfortunately, we had to revise our contract with them because the nutritionists, they had to cut out that program. So I do understand and receive that they had to do some cutbacks. But unfortunately, those that are in Progress Village, Claremont, the area that I serve, we're so close, but yet so far. If that makes any sense.
So, do you think the issue might be that they're delivering it? Maybe you have to pick up the food.
No, that can't. They would have to ask us that first. They would have to accept us and then ask us, and then we'll have an answer for that. And the answer would be, we have a nonprofit that partners with us, and that's United Bikers Jamboree, who picks up our food for us. So that wouldn't be a problem if they were able to bring us on.
Look, if that's a need, we could rally the community and see how we could pick up this food. But they cannot just not give it to people.
We don't have to rally. We don't have to rally the community.
We
got a partnership that will get it there.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. They just have to ask us. I heard a rumor yesterday. Don't know how true it is. I have to wait till tomorrow. That Feeding Tampa Bay have some type of funds. Have you all heard that?
I don't know.
Did you hear it, Jeanette?
No, I don't know.
I didn't hear it either, but I was trying to get, and I waited too late because I wanted Commissioner Walser to come on, because, I mean, in my opinion, sometimes when I ask him, I could get really direct information. So look like we need to set up a meeting with him to see what's going on and how they can help. Yeah. Because even if food stamps get reinstated, it might be a while before people who's working paycheck to paycheck, they're going to need some assistance. So whatever you already was doing, you are now going to see 3 times that amount, because people working, not getting paid. If stamps doesn't come back up, it is a need. Yes. And we got to make sure that you're fully stocked and you're able to assist the people.
Right. So I've got a couple questions. So you mentioned Progress Village. Your territory is basically Progress Village, Claremelle, in the surrounding that area in general.
In general, but when I say but we because now we are a station brick and mortar, we don't get to travel. We don't travel, but anyone in that surrounding area, actually, we don't care where you come from. If you're
So if
needed,
they know that you're there, they can come, but
yes,
you don't really care where they're coming from. You
we
will
don't
help.
care. We don't care.
How do they know that you're there?
A lot of it word of mouth. That's one. Number two, the county is helping. They have a list of different pantries throughout Hillsborough County. Many of them do tie into Feeding Tampa Bay, but there's others like myself that don't. And I'm not sure how they make the list, but we're on that list too. So it gets disseminated to a lot of different places. Word of mouth, Facebook, social media in general. That helps a lot. We do reach out to the people that we have served over the past years. We send out emails and reminders of days that we're open. So that's how we get the word out.
So the county has a list,
Yes.
but the county isn't making sure that those places are well stocked, is what I'm hearing.
I would say not. I don't know about anyone else, but I can say for Grow My Giving, they are not.
Yeah, but it would seem to me with the fact that there's a shutdown and with the word that the um, food stamp, the SNAP program is being delayed. I'm going to say delayed now with the court's decisions to reopen it. Nobody has reached out to say to that list, people on that list, here's how we're going to use your services to make sure the people in, nobody has come up with a plan as to how to make sure that all of the food banks or pantries are up to snuff to meet the need.
With the
Let
word
me
all, I would
let,
say you're
let,
correct.
let me say something too. As the Washington have that safety net for when this kind of stuff happens, Hillsborough County and the city of Tampa, I'm sure, have funds as well. So
Well, I'm hearing about just different organizations coming together in other cities that are actually preparing, actively preparing and reaching out to organizations like yours to say, hey, what do you need? What can I do? Can I volunteer? Can I write a check? Can I bring canned goods? I'd like to think, and it's one of the reasons we called you, that we are all doing what we can to make sure that our fellow brothers and sisters can get through this month.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I have not reached out. Let me take it back. I have reached out to a few, have not been successful with someone supporting the need. You follow me?
Yes.
One of the biggest issues I had even prior to this is connecting with other resources outside of Feeding Tampa Bay. But unfortunately, many of them, pretty much everyone I've gone to, it's like, oh, we're already giving to Feeding Tampa Bay. And so that challenges us a little bit. I have reached back out to those that waiting for an answer back from Metropolitan Ministries. I did send an email out on Friday to Feeding Tampa Bay. We'll see what happened. Honestly, straightforward, because I'm very transparent in all that I do. I have not reached out to the county. I have not reached out to the county, and I guess if you ask me why haven't you? I guess because they have not come first in my mind because I didn't get funded for this year, 25, 26. And it baffles me.
I know.
It
But
baffles me.
But listen, I think you're gonna have to, because I'm sure they have emergency funds. And when you talk about partnerships forming, and it always puzzled me, because for blacks we always have to do get less. What sense does that list make if these food banks gonna
Can't
run
support
out,
it.
or say they don't have it? So let's just say in the area, because we have to go back to what we know. Have you partnered with any churches or any of the local nonprofits?
Well, my childhood church, some knows it as St. James in Progress Village. Now is Victory AME. Was already partnering with them with sharing. They're called Sharing is Caring, and they do connect with Feeding Tampa Bay because they've been a partner of theirs.
See, that's what I'm saying. No,
for a very long time.
Are they partnering with you?
Yes, but you got to hold on to that, right? So they're partnering with, and that's prior to the time we're in now. There was a time where Grow My Giving was feeding into them like 90%. The tables have turned now, right? And so whatever access they have, they do help us out as well. Today with Feeding Tampa Bay, there's so many different programs with Feeding Tampa Bay. One of the programs that they're on, they are able to go online and search for things that is free as well as things that they have to pay for. And so I do have the opportunity to look at the same thing, right? And so it helps us out. Some things cost more at Feeding Tampa Bay than it does for Save a Lot. And so we're doing research every week. Is like, what can we get? So there is some. But Feeding Tampa Bay also have larger programs where they dump more food, where they do the fresh produce. And that, unfortunately, because Sharing and Caring, Victory, AME, St. James, AME, is not on that particular program, we don't have access to it. That makes sense? So we get some access to Feeding Tampa Bay through another, through the church, Parkers Village, St. James, but that's it for right now. I did connect with a young man, a church, please forgive, Church of Christ, that's the name of it, Church of Christ in St. Pete. That pastor has been talking to me, but I yet to receive anything, but at least that's in the works. Hopefully, and the thing is, if I got to go drive over there and get it myself,
I could say,
yeah.
Look, Tampa is big enough. Black community is large enough. We have enough churches, and I'm sure most of these churches probably have to have food banks for their own.
They have pantries, yes.
Yes. So I'll leave it like that. But
well, let me just ask this before you finish that. So I don't know anything about how pantries function in terms of the boxes that I used to see being loaded off trucks, and people would come up and get these boxes and they'd go on, or that, where did that food come from?
That was a government government program or funding through the pandemic. And that went for three years. I think it was 3 years. And that ended in 2022. And that's why our program, because we were riding, when I say riding off the backs of others during that program, ETBCA, I think they're called ETBDCA now. With Representative State Rep Diane Hart.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yes. Thank God for her program. They helped us out tremendously. And anytime we had overage, we helped. Sharing is Caring. At the beginning, Feeding Tampa Bay was there. Thank God for them at the beginning. I already told you about the guy in Day City. All these were receiving, they were like a food bank. They were receiving from different organizations that had the funding that was bringing that food in. And so smaller organizations such as myself, we just partnered with them when they retrieved our food and gave the box of food out every week or whatever the plan was for that particular organization. But right now, that's why I was asking. I have not heard. Saturday, last night, when I was trying to make it home, one of the young lady, the very first young lady that introduced me to the food with the Day City thing, I called her, and she said she had heard that there's food coming through Feeding Tampa Bay, but I have not verified that yet. And to me, my first thought was, just my thought, if that is true, are they going down the list of those, almost the same question you all asked or a statement you made about the county? Are they going down the list of everyone that's been waiting to get on the list?
Right.
Are they going down the list of those that are already giving? And are they evaluating what's happening? And how do you distribute it that everybody get an opportunity to share or to provide for communities? Because we that are not on the list, I think we need a little more than those that are already on the list. That's just my thoughts.
Sure.
So what do you need from the community? What do you need from us?
Okay. I would say what I need from the community. Before I go ask for the need, I have one little statement I want to put there. One thing I feel the community needs to know how to survive. Okay.
Okay.
Monitor your eating. We should be doing that anyway, right? We should be trying to eat a little healthier, not overeating, that type of stuff. Now's the time to pay attention to it, right? Not snacking as much as when you don't need it to help you move forward, right? That's just a little small piece of it. That start helping yourself to help we that are trying to supplement, because it's all about a supplement. Even outside of SNAP, and you're looking at food teak, it is a supplement to get you to the next paycheck or that feeling that meal. So that's number one. As far as the community itself, everybody that can, those stores, those produce stores or warehouses, the stores that are already given and already locked down by Feeding Tampa Bay or what have you, give a little more. You have it. And then most importantly is sharing the knowledge, because I have also ran into some that have the ability, some pantry that they're already receiving, they don't share information sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're getting it from. We're not taking from you, we're just spreading the wealth.
Right.
So that is very important. And then like what you and Mona are doing right now, Jeanette and Mona, you are doing is being the voice, helping us get the word out to those individuals that have the those resources, that have the ability to do more. The ability to do more and do more, putting pressure on those that have that, especially when it comes to the government. We need that help, because sometimes our voice is not being heard as a small, and I don't consider ourselves a grassroots anymore. We passed the grassroots. We've given out over 50,000 meals. We've been giving out a lot of food over the years, and it's not grassroots anymore. We're providing for the people, and we need some more help.
Yeah, I don't like when the government, because you need their help, think less of the people, don't really care, having long wait lines. I like to try to make it as less stressful as possible. It's why I like the whole idea of the boutique.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking this immediate crisis, what does long-term recovery look like for our community once the shutdown ends? And how can we build a stronger system for you so this doesn't happen again?
Long term, again, I could just reflect back onto the pandemic time.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ongoing thing. Food desert, this is not new. It was here before the pandemic. We recovered. When I say recovered, we went past physical, not the food part. Still in it, it got greater. Here we are now with the shutdown. It is greater. And so long term is more support, more focus on feeding the people, especially our children. It's our children and our elderly. Because as you know, with the children, if they're not fed well, it's going to impact their academics. It causes behavior problems, you name it, it just escalate. And so now we're creating new problems, right? And so long term is that the organizations, corporations, and federal feed into nonprofits that are out there to feed the people and addressing the food desert. That is very, very important. And what the community can do, and the three I just mentioned, to try to prevent or help the long-term piece of it, is to continue to be there and support. Continue to look for a way that you can give. Continue to spread the wealth. And when it's spending the dollars, and now I'm going to go more federal, what have you, look at who you're giving the money to and what the outcome is going to be, as well as the private sector too. Because sometimes private sectors, they give to the glamour type of projects, what have you. Look to the need.
Right.
Look to the need.
Yeah, I think if we look at long term, your service is always going to be needed.
Yeah.
the systems are set up, not just here in the United States, but everywhere, that there will always be poor people and there will always be the working poor, because people come to you and they have a 9 to 5 job, but if they're making 7, 10, $15 an hour, they probably can't meet the need from one month to the next and need that, as you say, supplement. Um, so I would really want the viewers to pretty much understand that Food Teak is there, right there in Progress Village, and the need could be, I don't know if you need us to give you goods or to give you write a check. And I don't think anybody writes checks anymore, but for the for the most part, how do we get funds to you? Because it sounds like funds are certainly important. And because you're a nonprofit, you don't have to pay taxes on the food that you buy. I might have to do that. So it may make more sense for me to stretch the dollar is to make sure that you have the funds.
Yes, both are needed. Our vision is that food is free and the money keeps us open because we have rent, we have utilities, and we're looking to gain employment. So money is always needed. But I prefer that food is donated, donated by those that can't afford it, so that the dollars that are given to us can be used to keep the operation going. Makes
Okay.
sense. And so, if someone wants to donate by giving funds, our Cash App is $ GMG for Grow My Giving, GMG Funds with an S. So that's GMG FUNDS.
Got
That's
it.
your Cash App. And if
Yeah.
someone wants to zell us, you can zell us at growmygiving@gmail.com. That's growmygiving@gmail.com. If you
Text
want
that
to do a
back.
back, I got another way. If you want to, some people still do checks. Me, if you want to mail us a check, you can at the address that's showing on the screen now, which is 7927 Flower, not Flower, Flower, not Fowler, Flower, like a flower,
Flower.
FLOWER Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33619.
Wow. Folks, this is an opportunity for you to give back. And Food Teak is no longer grassroots, but it still has a need. And I do believe there's going to be a growing need, especially as more and more people become unemployed. I see 2026 as a year of high unemployment, especially within the Black community, given what I see happening. And the help is they're going to need this type of help.
Jeanette, I want to just say one last thing. We have to keep in mind, like you said, unemployment. What happens is when the money goes shorter, they're going to use that money to keep a roof over their heads, right? They got to use that money if they have a job. They got to use that money for gas to get places. And so where they're going to suffer, they're going to find a way to save money, which is coming to the pantries. Okay, they're going to come to the pantries. It's already happening. And so that's why the need for the pantries or the support for the pantry is very, very, very much needed right now.
I think you're absolutely right. And there's a lot of discussion out there now on the internet that it's filling the pantry is also crime prevention, people.
Mm-hmm.
Folks can get pretty desperate if they are not eating.
Yes.
So
yes,
if they have somewhere to go to get food, we need to make that happen. And it's not just the government's responsibility, it's ours as citizens to make sure. So,
look, thank you, Tawanda. And
Thank
thank you to everyone watching tonight. This shutdown doesn't prove that our community can survive anything. It proves how much we tolerate. It proves how much we tolerate because you said a few things that we need to be writing letters to our county commission and city council people see what's going on here because we pay taxes. We can't keep surviving in silence while the same people in power play with our life. Thank you again, Tawanda.
Thank you for the invite, ladies.
When you get off, I want you to on Facebook put down all of that information again, and then we will tag it in our description.
Okay, I definitely will.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. You have a great evening.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you for the support. Will do.
You bet.
Wow, Jeanette. Unbelievable. I really didn't know how this worked.
I did not know how it worked either. I'm not sure what I was thinking. Maybe the food just appears, but somebody's got to make sure that.
I thought, but I don't understand. There's a few things that caught my attention that I wrote, took a few notes here. That so all of the council people, I do know that they give out so much money, and not to give to this particular organization. I'll have to ask why.
Can't say I know what the reason could be,
because I know, like for Gwen, for example,
Gwen is the council, the commissioner for PV.
Okay, but they give to a lot of. She gives to all the sororities and fraternities, and I'm sure that whatever they do, they need it and expect it as well. But are they feeding people? How are you not going to take? How are you going to take from feeding, helping her do what she does? Now, it shouldn't just all fall on her either, because this is what we have. Where we have to get our at-large people to be able to pull and do what they should do as well.
I agree. I think what we could ask Twana to do is to give us a list of things that she could use in the store, the kind of items that would be helpful to the families. And if she wants us to go out and buy them and then deliver them, then we can certainly do that. I'm planning to do that, as a matter of fact. I'm going by the store.
I mean, it's crazy because I know just a couple of weeks ago, my friend Don Lee and Keela McCaskill, they were trying to fill the food pantry at I guess it's called a food pantry at Tampa Bay Tech at schools. So I do know some schools have them. So this is just going to be because, you know, it says 225 people just here in Hillsborough County receive SNAP.
Yeah, Edison also has a food pantry. Sometimes we get things from the Franciscan Center and we'll send it over to be put into the food pantry. But parents come there all the time. Parents are always coming in and out.
And look, the parents that already use that and people who didn't use it are going to now find their way there. They're going to need assistance.
They are.
So it's going to be crazy.
One of my staff ran into, one parent came and she said, "Hey, I'm not going to get my EBT. I got 5 kids." And she happened to be at Edison that day. And the resource people said, "Come on into the pantry and get whatever you need," because she was stressing out because she knew on Friday that she was not going to have access to feed her kids. And she was able to go into the pantry and got everything that she needed out of the pantry. And then my staff, who needs the money as well, we had just paid her and she just took out money, more than most people would do, and just handed it to her all rolled up. So she didn't know what she had until she got home. And I'm sure she was surprised given what she gave her. And I said, "How did you do that? Because I know that, you know, life is no crystal stair for you." And she said, "You know, the rent's paid. Her husband gets paid on Friday." She said, "I just felt compelled to make sure that woman and those 5 kids had something going into the weekend."
I love it. That's just us, isn't it?
I think we have to be that right now. We have to rise to the occasion. We need to rise to the occasion. We need to find pantries like Food Teak. Twanda puts her heart into that. And right now, over the holidays, and I truly believe into 2026, we're going to see more and more people out of work, because that seems to be
That's the
one of
goal.
the mandates of this particular administration, is to make sure Black people are not working, so that we can do the kind of work that they need for us to do. But for the most part, we need to understand that Food Teak is a treasure for us, and we need to give. So make sure, I'm hoping that she does make sure that information is in there, and you and I need to make a date and go on over there and check it out, and maybe do a live from there.
Absolutely. So look, I just thought about when you mentioned about your one of your students, and we don't have to panic right now, even though you didn't get, say you use your SNAP benefits from month to month, and you might say nothing, because I can remember when my daughter used to say, "Mom, it's nothing in the refrigerator. It's nothing. It's always something there that you could fix." So I did hear something. Maybe by Wednesday, SNAP should be back up, but probably won't. So it'll probably be by the end. But let's just say for the next 2 weeks, I'm sure you could find something to eat off in your pantry, in your refrigerator for another week. Yes, would you say that?
Mm-hmm. Always. And
It might not be what, it might not be what you want.
I'll go to the kitchen and whip up.
It's always in my freezer
something.
that I don't want to cook it, or I'm just not into it. But I
Right.
do know that I need to go, shopping, and the stuff will sit there to, for a while. So it's always something in there.
Yeah, I just think more and more we're going to appreciate what's in those refrigerators and those cupboards. And I just want to make sure that for those of us who have who are not in that situation where we're barely making it from one month to the next, we are conscious of the community, and the community we have to make sure that we're able to survive what's coming up. Our ancestors did, and we will be able to do that as well. Bridge this, the time for such a time as this, as they say. But
but we've been trained to, that's true.
Yeah. So I appreciate Twanda and what she's doing, and nobody gets more excited about giving than she does. It was like she can get really excited and get folks excited. So please, people out there, use the information, give her a call, drop her a line, find out what she needs, and make sure that she gets it. But before we close out tonight, I want to kind of double back a little bit and talk a little bit more about what it means for Black families in particular going forward, especially as we head into the holidays. I do believe that it's going to be tough for a lot of folks, but I think now is the time for us to maybe do some reframing. So the SNAP cutoff isn't just a budget issue. It's a moment for us to rethink what giving really, really looks like. So when food assistance is being stripped away, we have to make the holidays about community care. Just make it, and it's not about commercialism, which is what you turn on your TV. It's going to be all about trying to get you to spend dollars you don't necessarily have, or maybe dollars you should be tucking away for later, or maybe it's dollars you should be donating to food pantries. But it's not going to be about commercialism. I think this holiday, Black folks need to reframe it about community care.
Wow, that's so true. We've been trained to measure love by how much we spend at the big box stores. And those same corporations benefit the most while our people struggle. So we're going to start seeing probably Monday, Publix, all the commercials for Thanksgiving. Let's do
Thanksgiving, Christmas already. We are seeing Christmas.
I know Christmas, but I'm talking about for food.
Yeah, true.
Because Thanksgiving could be, I never knew how much people spend on a traditional Thanksgiving because I never really did a Thanksgiving from all the way through, right? We just do, but Thanksgiving could be very expensive.
Yeah.
So this year we don't have to do the traditional, in my opinion, turkey, ham, and all of this stuff. Do it a little different. Even if you do now get the SNAP benefits, it will be, hey, instead of spending a couple of $100 on Thanksgiving, spend $100 and then donate the other 100 canned goods or whatever to helping someone else. It always makes you feel good when we're helping others.
Yeah. Yeah, they can buy things and then donate to others who might be in need, but or just store it. I mean, get it and store it for buy those things that, and I don't like to tell people how to shop. It's like, and already you've got people on the right trying to say to people that get EBTs, they're trying to say what they can and cannot buy. And there are some funny videos out there about women going through and the cashier saying, you can't buy that, you can't buy that, which is very offensive, it seems. But, it's the times that we're in. But what I think we need to pay attention to, Mona.
That's that power again,
Yeah.
White kids, small syndrome, have to feel, what difference does it make? Oh,
yeah.
We don't want you to drink sodas on SNAP. Why? Because we know you don't care or give a damn about the people.
So, but compare that to when we bail out big corporations. We don't tell them what to do. They do all these buybacks as we are preparing to bail out the farmers, we're not going to tell them what they can and cannot do.
Sure.
We're not even going to pay attention to that. But now we got to pay attention to some mom with 5 kids, and we get mad if she buys potato chips.
Right.
That makes absolutely
that's the craziest thing to me.
Right.
And the amount of money that we spend on SNAP total is so small compared to all of the other welfare that we do for billionaires.
Right.
For billionaires. And then we have these dumb people who, I don't want my tax money going to. Honey, your tax money isn't going very little.
But look. Is anybody going to itemize what Argentina is going to do with that $40 billion?
Yeah.
But we will itemize. Huh?
Or what we give Israel every month.
Nobody's asking for an itemization on that. So when I see people being indignant about somebody who's getting maybe $100, $200, maybe even I understand these larger families are getting significant amounts per month. It's like, it's not our business. They qualify for it. It's not our business. But I think what we need to pay attention to
that we're not in that position because we never know who and when your time will come.
We never know that. That's true. But this country pays a salary that, but let's talk about that. So what we ought to pay attention to is that this shutdown isn't just hurting families, but it's hitting major corporations too, to the point that you were about to make. Stores like Walmart, who relies heavily on EBT shoppers. Just think about it though. They're going to see a dip in sales, major. Right.
Yeah.
And what's ironic about it is many of their own employees earn low wages that they qualify for SNAP themselves.
Sure.
So while taxpayers help fill the gap, those same companies are profiting on both ends.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Something about that equation is deeply, deeply wrong. And this moment should make us question it. Reports from Supermarket News and the Shelby Report show that Walmart captures roughly 24 to 26% of all SNAP grocery spending, and about 10% of its total U.S. sales come from EBT payments.
Wow.
That means when SNAP stops, even Walmart feels it.
Yeah.
But it also means taxpayers are effectively subsidizing their low-wage model twice. So they're paying low wages, and we're subsidizing the fact that they are making big profits. So it's once through EBT for workers. Oh, I kind of got lost in there. And again, once for the EBT workers, and then again for the checkout when the workers go purchase food. So it just seems that we're always mad at the little mom, a single mom with the 5 kids, or we're mad at whoever, but we're never, ever mad at the businesses that are profiting from taxpayer dollars being used when all Walmart has to do is pay a living wage, for crying out loud. And so we aren't subsidizing the fact that $7 an hour or $10 an hour, even $15 an hour isn't enough, is causing them to have to apply or qualify for EBT.
So they said, I can't remember, I think over 60 to 70% of their employees have two jobs, work 2 jobs, and use SNAP.
Yeah. And use SNAP. And use a SNAP.
They're already working 2 jobs. So,
but that's how the country works. It's by design. It's by design that a percentage of the people, of the citizenry, will work low-wage jobs. Somebody's got to do that work. And so this country has to be ready to pay for that.
Yeah. Well, and let's remind the people, every dollar we spend is a vote for the kind of economy we believe in, right? A Black center economy. So instead of rushing to the malls, guys, invest in someone local. And that means also taking a break on Amazon.
Ooh, Amazon. Are you kidding me?
Take a break. Amazon comes down my street when I'm home on Monday constantly. Now, our house is not an Amazon house, but when everyone was here, Amazon was ringing our doorbell. Every time I order on Amazon, I screw it up. It goes to somebody else's house, or I don't I don't do that, but my girls, they are big, and I had to will them in, but that's what they did during the pandemic. But
think about an 88-year-old mom who, anytime I'm coming home, it's like I got to kick in an Amazon box. It's like, what is this? What is this?
Your mom is on Amazon. Oh my God. I know if I want to order something, I'm either going to ask my nieces or my daughter to order it for me, right?
Allison orders her own stuff.
Yeah.
She's got Prime and she orders her own stuff. But I think you're making the great point. Take a break from Amazon.
Yeah. Why are we making him a trillionaire? Because that's where he's trying to go. Why?
Yeah.
He's dictating the life we're living.
Right.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we can make giving back to ourselves and growing our own community sacred again. I think we need to do that. I think Black communities in our period of we're not going out in them streets, we can focus on our own community. And the best way to do that right now is from an economic standpoint. It's not just about wrapping paper this season, but about wrapping each other in care. To me, it's as simple as that. We don't have to be in those streets to have the kind of impact we can have in a very short amount of time. So that's what I think we want to leave with you guys with tonight. A reminder that power comes from how we choose to show up for one another and not from how we spend.
That's right. So this holiday season, remember, love is the gift and the community is the celebration. I definitely want after Christmas, December the 26th, that we as a community, as a group, we're going to figure out how to do this. Introduce Kwanzaa to some and for the other ones celebrate it together as a community.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. I really like that idea.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's interesting how even the stories we grew up on, if you think about it, I'm telling you, my family, because I'm one of 7 kids, 6 of us grew up together, 1 came later. But we watched the movies like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's on. Everybody get in front of the TV. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is on. And then you remember Frosty the Snowman. That was never a real favorite of mine. But then there was Miracle on 34th Street. But all of these centered the season around shopping and toys and store-bought gifts, if you remember. That imagery became the American tradition. And they sort of indoctrinated us into believing that love came in nicely wrapped packages from Santa Claus. But it was a training. It was an indoctrination to make people believe that love equals spending.
Exactly. Those white-centered holidays norms was designed to move money up the chain, to make people, especially working families, pour every dollar back into the corporation instead of each other. And we're going to change that. And I think we have, because I can remember now, like during the holidays, I like I don't know what channel, but last year I found a lot of Black holiday movies. I don't know if it was on Netflix, Tyler Perry movies. I don't know which one it was. I'm not big in Tyler Perry, but it was a lot of Black holiday movies. Now, I don't know what the kids do because I don't have any small kids, but we're just gonna have to change things.
We're going to have to change how we see the country, how we see the world, how we see our role in it. And I think that next big shift has to come in how we spend our money, how we spend our dollars.
That's why, look, our resistance in 2025 isn't just political, but we already been talking about boycotting Black Friday, Christmas. It got to be culture, and then we could change the nation. Because
I truly believe it's that big.
Yes, because I believe if we don't go out here and spend all this unnecessary money this year for Christmas and Thanksgiving, and even if they do put reinstate SNAP, let's not spend hundreds of dollars for Christmas, for Thanksgiving. And generally, your parents are the one who really fund that, and half the time they never said how much Thanksgiving costs.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Well, we're talking Thanksgiving. I was even talking Halloween, but that's gone. But Thanksgiving, we're just talking that forget about the gifts. Talk to your kids. I've already said it once, and I said it to my sister, and my sister says, "Yeah, right." I said, $100, $200 for the kids. Just get, instead of toys, just give them money in an envelope and take them on Monday morning to the bank. and let them open up accounts and make it seem like a big deal that they are now opening up bank accounts, or if they already have one, which most don't, then you go and you just make it, you put more money in their account. They can feel good, and let them see the bank statements and whatever else. Begin changing how we see the holidays, and again, our role in building an economic infrastructure that is Black centered. And this is the time to do it, because the attack on Blackness is so obvious. If we, right now, it looks like we're sitting around doing nothing, but resistance is how we spend the holidays and how we pull back on the shopping. And I'm not necessarily saying don't shop at all, but I'm saying if you are going to shop, if you think you have to spend money, spend it with a Black business. Spend it in a Black business. And if you can't find what you want in a Black business, spend it with a small business. But stay out of the big blockbuster stores, because they definitely are going to do everything within their power to manipulate you and to control you, because that's all it is. It's manipulation and control. And as soon as you put that credit card down or that debit card down, they're like, we got them. And this
interest,
we got to stop it.
And we got to check the interest on these credit cards. I mean, they're,
God
forbid,
you're not paying them off your credit cards.
30, 60, 90 days, you're not paying your credit card off. You're running the balance and you're paying the minimum. I mean, it's crazy. So
do not use the credit cards.
Yeah, use debit or cash.
Yeah. If you use your credit card, don't go above 30% of whatever your thing is, because they will kill you. It will kill you. So do not use the credit card if you can help it. But Black resistance in 2025 means breaking the cycle, guys. That's all it is. Break the cycle. There's all kinds of, even young people are really advising boycotts. There is besides me and Mona asking you to reframe Christmas, you don't have to boycott Christmas, but reframe it and just do it differently and stay out of the big box stores. Buy Black, buy small. There is a period that I think I'm going to join, and that is to boycott shopping anything, everything from December 25th from November 25th through December 2nd. No shopping, no restaurants, no nothing. Now I say go to a Black restaurant. Yeah, do that. M&R Catering, do that. What is that? It's on Nebraska.
Mr. B.
Mr. B's. So there's quite a few out there. Al's Finger Licking Soul. So I'm saying, and this isn't me, this is somebody else, and I'm just going to join because I'm already pulling back, and I've already talked to my family in terms of what they're doing, because we sell honey with my nonprofit, right? And all the proceeds go back to the garden. They know they're getting honey in their stockings. It's like, I'm going to buy them honey, and that's what they will get, with a few nuts and whatever else. Kind of take Christmas back the way it used to be for us as Black people, where it was simple and it was more about the time that we spend together and the food that we eat together. So it means redefining the holidays as moments of love, reflection, and connection, not manipulation. Every act of conscious spending or not spending is a stand against the systems that strip our families of wealth year after year. So this season, we reclaim joy on our own terms by investing in community and not consumerism.
And I like you've used love a lot. I've counted 3 times. So, but listen, before we sign off, Jeanette, I think it's important for us to circle back to what we said earlier about how the people being used as pawns in this shutdown are often the same ones who vote for this leadership. To me, this is political jockeying at its worst. using the least of us as leverage and as weapons to bribe, to compel, and it is hurting everyone.
Exactly.
And
what
we have to remember this. And let me just say this, when we have the family together for Thanksgiving, our seniors are really going to have to talk to the young people. They're going to make sure everybody in that house, at that table, are registered voters. They're going to have to make sure not only are they registered, but also that they're going to have to make sure in 2027 that they're voting.
Yeah.
We can't keep going through, and I know why. I do understand how people have lost faith. But it is now we're gonna have to give this voting another shot. We're gonna have to give this voting another shot because we're gonna have to change the direction that this country is in, and that Hillsborough County, the state of Florida, we're gonna have to neutralize Tallahassee. And we cannot do that with the amount with the participation we've had in the past.
That's true.
We're going to have to get our participation up. And I'm saying, look, 100%, 100% of registered Black voters are going to have to vote. And it is going to be our leaders in the family. Like in my family, I make sure on both sides that people, I don't make sure that they're registered, but I'm just hoping their parents do the right thing. But we're going to have to step it up. We're going to have to make sure everyone who's 17 in that family could go online on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because you could go online and do it.
Yeah.
We can't keep complaining if we ain't voting.
So that should be one of the activities, I think, is what you're saying on Thanksgiving. There should be a laptop or a computer terminal up in your house, and folks should be going on and registering. I think that's a great idea.
And getting a plan and talking about what is going to happen, because you and I, we talked about Project 2025, and SNAP, this food assistant, was in Project 2025. So these people are doing what they say they were going to do.
No.
And it's going to have to be up to us, because we already see someone like Tawanda isn't getting the funding that she needs.
I know. I'm just
all of this stuff, they want it to be cut out. So we got to get a plan, family. We got to get a plan, and it got to be the matriarchs in these families pulling these families together now.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And what history keeps showing us is that when systems fail, it's Black people who find a way to hold it together. And I think it's through the family, as you're saying, that we need to stand firm, take care of each other, and by doing that, taking care of the rest of the country. When we take care of ourselves, we are actually taking care of the rest of the country as well. That's what resilience looks like. It is what it will look like for this holiday season as we prepare to go into 2026. And there is a mark on our backs, and we need to realize that. But the best way to do that is to stick together, make it an economic resistance, and begin building our own. You know, Africa is doing that. You got countries in Africa that is pulling it in and taking care of themselves and building their own financial infrastructure. We could do the same thing. So while others are being manipulated by fear and division, that's happening. Everybody agrees with that. We're teaching ourselves and our children to build unity and self-reliance this season. Let's do that.
Wow. And, you know, at the table, it will be a good time for those who want to separate from the Democratic Party. We're not saying we're voting for the right, because we can see what's going on, but registering. If we could register our young people as independent, or anyone that's in your house that's not registered. Everybody who's able to be a registered voter should be a registered voter if they're African Americans.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's
So,
where the real work starts. It is time for us to flip the script once again. We got to almost go back to our grandparents, not even our parents, my grandparents. We got to flip the script.
yes.
Let's start showing the government, like our grandparents did, from Washington all the way down to Tampa City Hall, what accountability looked like.
Yeah.
And that means us at a 60-70% participation.
Wow.
100% will
Big
be,
numbers. Big numbers.
yes, big numbers.
That would be quite the gift to ourselves if we're able to reach those kind of numbers next year with the work that we put in to our own families and into our own communities.
Because we have to realize we dropped the ball a little once we got all these rights. And sometimes when people mean harm for us, it sometimes works in our benefit. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm going to do a post on Facebook and ask people what they're planning to do for the holidays. Are they going to participate in the boycotts, or I want people to begin thinking, do I want to join in on this, or do I want to just go ahead and do Christmas as usual? And I don't know. I would love to see us impact the markets in such a way that it gets the attention of the people that need to be paying attention to Black folks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just Black folks that are boycotting. White folks are also getting an understanding that they need to boycott as well.
Yeah. Look, it's the billionaires that's screwing us around.
And they're finally realizing it's a class issue. And
Yeah.
stop fighting us on race, because it's really a class issue. So you're right.
Yeah. Well, interesting show once again, Jeanette. It was excellent. I believe we're going to come through this okay.
I hope so. I'm hoping that we actually will, but it's going to be up to each one of us to decide that we're not marching in the streets, but we are going to participate by closing our pocketbooks,
withholding our dollars.
wallets. Yeah. So good show, and that's all I have. Huh?
I'm going to remind the audience once again to please. It's good to like us on Facebook, but we need you to go to YouTube and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Absolutely. We are Black Independents.
We are Black Independent.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Good night.
Good night.